Hello, 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 and welcome to the Lust Podcast Show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
Join us for our weekly conversations about life, culture, and everything else. What do we always say? Get to know us, get to love us. Before we go any further, this episode is sponsored by Cigar Junkies. Make sure you go out and get your merch. Also sponsored by CGS Educational Services. Make sure you support that as well. Before we get started, before we jump in this episode, just how are you, D.O.C.? How's it going?
I'm doing great. It's Aquarius season, so everything is great for me.
Aquarius season. I thought you don't pay attention to horoscopes.
I don't, but I pay attention to mine.
Okay. Aquarius season. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, I am doing well as well. So. Let's go ahead and jump into this show. Y'all know how we do this. We serve y'all up 3-course meals, starting with our appetizer, which is hot topics. Honestly, I don't even know what to start with. This is the 5-year anniversary of Mr. Kobe Bryant's passing. Remembering Kobe 5 years later. I know a lot of stations have been featuring specials about Kobe and different things like that. Mr. D.O.C., what do you have to say about 5 years later?
I mean, for me, as most people know, I'm a huge Laker fan. Even the LeBron edition, but I'm a huge Laker fan, and of course, Kobe fan. I believe in the Mamba mentality, and so I'm just amazed that it's been 5 years. It went by so fast so far. The good thing is that people haven't forgot him. I think his legacy continues on. It's getting even stronger. But 5 years of arguably one of the top 3 basketball players of all time. To me, he's number 2, Jordan. Actually, I think number 3. I will put Jordan, Kareem, and then Kobe. It's just, not only him, but also the other folks that lost their lives in that tragic accident as well. So, shout out to the Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
I think ditto. I can't believe it's 5 years already. I definitely would say that. Because I swear I remember it like yesterday when someone actually called us and told us that they had heard he had passed away. And definitely by the time you turned on the TV...
It was my brother that called me. I remember that.
By the time you turned on the TV, I think it was just something shocking to see. It was just honestly unbelievable. 5 years later, it doesn't seem like it is 5 years. I agree. It seems like his legacy has gotten stronger. I think younger people are recognizing who Kobe is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good. So, R.I.P. Kobe, GG. And, of course, everyone else that was on the helicopter that crashed as well 5 years later. Yeah. Well, since we're kind of on this topic, something that I heard the other day that I thought was kind of shocking was that for those who don't know, if I say DJ Unk, you probably wouldn't know. But if I say Walk It Out, I think you would know who I'm talking about. And DJ Unk was responsible for that hit Walk It Out that, you hit Walk It Out in the club today, you're going to get crunk in the club today. But he actually passed away. Excuse me, not passed out, passed away. And I know one of the things was that he had a heart attack. I think they just found out his cause of death and it's a heart attack. And I know for me, it just seemed like heart attack. That's something that it seems like you hear more often now than you did before.
Oh yeah, that shit is no joke. I
really think so.
Apparently he had a history of heart problems. He had a heart attack before, so it just goes to show you. I think I talked about this maybe a week or two, the last couple episodes, just about a lot of homies that we lost last year, and it wasn't due to the streets. It was health related, and so I tell people reduce your stress, eat right, and exercise. That's the reason why I've been. I don't do a lot, but I do go to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week. It's more than what I was doing before. I'm not saying I'm a fanatic, but I try to move around, try to eat right, watch what I eat. and reduce stress. I've talked about that. I've cut some people that were causing stress. You know what I'm saying? So you reduce stress, man. That doesn't guarantee that you certain things, but at least it lessens the possibility. And then the other thing is that I feel that you have control over it. Like, you have control over your drinking, your smoking, your eating habits, whether you work out or not. So those are the things you have control over. So why not put them at the forefront? Health and wealth. I've always said that that's my motto, is health and wealth. You concentrate on your health, and then you get some wealth, and that's it.
I think a lot of people need to go to the doctor. I think a lot of times within our community and just in general, I think a lot of people don't go to the doctor. So by the time they do have symptoms of an issue that they really don't know what that issue is, a lot of times it's either too late or it's in stages where if they had known about it, they could have did a little bit better. So I think that yeah, it's good keeping down stress. Sometimes you just can't avoid stress. You may have a high stress job. So I do think the first step to really paying attention to that is going to the doctor. I know so many older Black people that are afraid to go to the doctor, won't go to the doctor for fear of the doctor. And I feel like if a lot of people go to the doctor, a lot of stuff can be preventable.
I never understood the fear of going to the doctor and finding out what the fuck is wrong with you.
Yeah, I don't get that, but that is very common among a lot of the older people that I come across.
For the life of me, like, you got this big fucking bulging mass on your body,
and you won't go get
you talking about, oh man, that's a motherfucking boil, that's a pimple. Okay, but I don't think it's supposed to be the size of a goddamn fucking tennis ball.
Or the logic that you don't want a doctor to cut on you
it's
or
just
touch
absolutely
you.
Stupid.
When that cutting on you can actually save your life. I'm gonna be honest, I don't get that. But I don't know. Maybe this ties back to Tuskegee Airmen and experiments back. I don't know. Maybe there's trauma.
They wouldn't even know what the fucking Tuskegee Airmen was. They just doing dumb shit. And especially in this day and age in which you have insurance, Obamacare, and they cutting this shit. They're going to eventually try to cut it.
Yeah.
So you better get all the free shit you can.
Go to the doctor. If you have health insurance.
Fucking idiot.
And you don't get awards for not going to the doctor when you have health insurance. No. I don't know. I know people that be like, I done had insurance for 20 years and ain't never been to the doctor. What sense do that make that you never
insurance
been to the
now
doctor?
Are almost trying to force people to do at least one wellness check a year.
Some insurance companies
they feel that if they catch certain shit, then they don't have to pay for those major illnesses and procedures down the line.
I actually get warning. I actually get notifications from my healthcare when it's time for me to do my mammogram, when it's time for me to do my annual exam. I actually get notices that say that it's time for me to get certain things done.
But it's the same thing like with your dentist. People don't go get that done
and that's
once or twice a year.
Technically, you're supposed to go every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned.
At minimum.
And every 6 months to get actually once a year to get your eye checked. But every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned. Because believe it or not, tartar plaque does build up very fast, especially depending on what you do or don't do.
And once again, really what you go to the dentist for is the preventative things. Because they can catch shit before you get to the point where you got to get an extraction.
Yes, I didn't
get a crown. So
I tell you this, and I don't talk about my business, but in the last month or so, I've actually had to get my wisdom teeth pulled. I have a very small mouth, and I've always had issues with my mouth as a little kid because my mouth was too small for the teeth in my mouth. But long story short, since then, I really between not being able to chew and eat, take care of your teeth, guys. Really, really, because I didn't. Yeah, take care of it.
TMI.
Yeah. All I said was I had a tooth pulled. Take care of your teeth.
Yeah, man. The whole moral of the story, man. Go get you.
Take care of yourself. I'm serious. Take care of yourself. Shit. Yeah. Last thing on the hot topic. This is something that because we all know that President Trump literally has only been in office a very few days, but since he has been in office, he has been like a goddamn Tasmanian devil. And one of the things that he has been doing is cutting a lot of DEI initiatives. And so real quick, D.O.C. I just, I definitely want to hear what we both have to say, but I'm just real curious to see what do you have to say about these cuts?
Honestly, I would eat a whole show.
Well, we don't have a whole show, so since it's a hot topic, we're gonna limit this to a couple of minutes, and then we can come back to that.
No, I mean seriously.
But we do need a whole show on this, honestly.
Just a real quick. Because people want to hear from them. They want to hear about this stuff. You can't avoid it. So let's talk about it. Whether you voted for him or not, I didn't vote for him, so that's gonna be clear on that. Because I don't support white supremacist policies, and so that's essentially what all of this attack is on. But this is the thing: I'm not surprised by it. I mean, the guy's a devil. The people that support him are complete idiots. And with that being said, I'm not surprised. He said he was going to do this, so I don't know why people are up in arms and shock. I don't know why they're up in arms and shocked by corporations. Corporations only did fake DEI in wake of the George Floyd rebellion and unrest, and they only did that as a knee-jerk reaction to keep their shit from being set on fire. So fuck them too.
I agree.
Fuck all those people.
I think the shockiness is the quickness in that he's doing it. I don't think anybody doubt that he wasn't gonna do it. I think the thing is like, damn, you ain't even been in the office 7 days. Like, bro, it's so many other pressing things.
But you know what? To me, that's and you know what? That's the reason why he was able to get in, because people don't. These motherfuckers are playing to fucking win. They're not playing no games.
I totally get it.
Hold on. And this is what I'm getting at. I actually glad he did it. Because to me, the other motherfuckers like Obama and all them niggas, they was punks. He came in on day one, letting motherfuckers out. Obama could have did that. You had people that sat in jail for years for nonviolent drug offending crimes that he had the ability to let them out. And he didn't do that. So I have no problem. It's called gangsterism. And they doing what they said they gonna do. They said they gonna do Project 25. And I think it's all bullshit. Yeah. Them rolling back the DEI shit is bullshit. But my thing is, why are people surprised? People got lulled by this.
People are not surprised.
Let me finish. Yes, they did. They got lulled by this notion of post-racialism in this era of Obama. They thought that the shit was over with.
You definitely need a whole nother episode on this.
No, you asked me in my opinion. Don't get mad because I'm passionate about this shit.
Oh, who's getting mad?
I'm just saying.
Who's getting mad?
I'm just saying. This shit is for real, and I'm not surprised. I don't know why people.
What I'm saying
is like the middle class Negroes are surprised.
I'm answering your question. Your question was, why are people so surprised? That was your comment.
No.
You said, I don't understand why people are surprised. And what I thought I was trying to do was explain why people are surprised.
Okay,
people are not surprised that he's doing it. I think everybody knows what his agenda is. I don't think that's a secret.
So what are they surprised about?
I don't think, yes.
So they're surprised.
It's not that you are necessarily like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. No, because this is what he wanted to do when he was first in office, but he didn't get a chance to do it. And then he didn't get reelected, so he couldn't do it again. Now he's back in office. So now he's just picking up where he left off. So again, maybe we shouldn't say surprise. I think that the thing is people are thrown off by the pace that he's just coming in cutting things like this, and FEMA and different initiatives and just a lot of stuff that he's doing, period. I think everything he's doing is just kind of like, just again, throwing people off. I don't think people are surprised by it, but it's just like, really, you coming in with this pace. That's all. Definitely not disagreeing with nothing that you said.
But when people are at war, because these people consider themselves at war, they don't wait on the enemy to get ready. They doing what they need to do. And they ain't playing no games. And that's what he's showing motherfuckers. He's not playing no games. So you motherfuckers better step up if y'all plan to defeat these motherfuckers. That's it. But I tell people, at the end of the day, don't get caught up what these corporations are doing. If you believe in the notion of doing for self, what those people doing doesn't affect you like that. Because you believe in self. And that's what people have to begin to realize. They got to go back to that. Black people believed in doing for self, and we have to go back to that. We've become too entrenched in this shit that wasn't built or made for us.
Well, I definitely think that it's unfortunate that it is happening. It's no shock, no surprise, but I think it's very unfortunate. I do feel like with it happening, it will set a lot of things back. But again, people knew that. People knew that when they voted for him, that some of this was going to happen.
I just think that is great. I think honestly, it's what they call it, fuck around and find out. Because all the motherfuckers that voted for him, especially people in certain segments of the Latino community, they locking them motherfuckers up and deporting people from them communities. So, hey, it is what it is. Hey, it is what it is.
So, yeah, again, you could talk about this for a whole episode, but that's not what we're here for. So, back to what we're here for. Book a Game, 20-part Book a Game. We have been on this journey to kind of supply what we feel like is 20 different topics about, just getting through the trenches of what we call relationships. Not even marriage, but just relationships. So far, we have gone through 11 chapters. I can't believe we're on chapter 12. We running through these quick. And so our last chapter was about being unapologetically you. That is something, a catchphrase that the D.O.C. always throws at people about how important that is to be you, no matter who dislikes it or who frowns upon that. And so this chapter is for people who have kids. I'm just going to throw it out there. People who have kids, because anybody who have kids, that's a couple in a relationship, live together, not live together, co-parent, or whatever the fuck it is. People know that when you have kids, topics like romance go out the window. Am I correct?
No. I disagree.
Okay. But for the most part, when people have kids, for most people who have newborn babies, nobody's thinking about romance with a newborn baby around.
Why is that? Why should romance go out the window because you got a kid?
It shouldn't, but 9 times out of 10, it's your romance that suffers when a baby is born. Most of the time, it's because the woman is the person who has the baby, and her body and her emotions and everything else are going through a lot. Mm-hmm. So 9 times out of 10, at least for the first 6 weeks, women not thinking about no romance. So again, this chapter is just talking about romance after kids. How do you get back to that place where romance becomes a priority in your situation?
Good question.
And so we know that it's a challenge. We get that, but we want to talk about that challenge and kind of how we went through that challenge. So, Mr. D.O.C., what are some of the things, just jumping right into it, what are some of the things that you've done or that you think can be done to keep the spark alive for young parents? Well, especially since you just said nothing should happen to your romance.
This is what I think. Real simple. I think that it starts with the foundation. And what I mean by that is that people need to be friends and enjoy one another before introducing a third member into their situation.
Agreed.
And so that's the problem, is that too many couples don't spend enough time getting to know each other, grow and develop, and just learn about each other. They typically are together, I'm just keeping it real, 6 months to 12 months. A kid will pop in because you have an unprotected, good ass fucking sex. And then so instead, in my situation, I think we were blessed in a situation where Jaleel didn't come for like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, true.
So we had enough time to enjoy each other, learn about each other, grow and develop, live one another. So I looked at that situation wasn't forced. I've seen a lot of situations, and a lot of people don't want to get real with this, but the kid forces people into a situation.
True.
They love the sex. They love the companionship, but they necessarily didn't see themselves being with this motherfucker for the rest of their life. Yeah. And somehow the kid came along the way. So now they're in this forced relationship. So it got to start with that foundation first before you introduce a kid into this. But unfortunately, a lot of motherfuckers don't follow that formula. And that's where you get into problems. I'm just keeping it real. There are too many people engaging in these activities without understanding the real consequences behind them. It is not cool to impregnate women and leave them. It is not cool for a woman to lay up with multiple niggas knowing that you can get pregnant and be left by yourself. Why would you do that? That is absolutely fucking nuts to me. That you would normally lay up with a nigga who has a history of not taking care of himself, his kids, or nothing, and you think your pussy is magical and it's gonna make him do something that he has a history of not doing. That don't make no sense to me. But it starts with the foundation.
So, keeping the spark alive starts with the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add to that
Mm-mm.
outside of that? Well, I think first of all, both people got to be on the same page. I think kids are a blessing, but if in any situation, if you're not ready for the kids to be there, it can cause problems. It really can cause problems. It really can cause havoc, not just for the woman, also for the man, also for the whole unit. It can cause a lot of problems. I've seen it firsthand, where a kid really puts more of a wedge between the parents because the expectations of what goes into taking care of them kids, though, they're not talked about. So
you hit it on the head. The expectations.
You're forced into it. So some women like, oh, he's a shitty daddy. But if y'all would have had that conversation, he probably would have told you he's a shitty daddy in so many different ways. But y'all didn't have that conversation, so now you left with this. So when you have these kids and stuff, like I just said, sometimes the romance, the companionship, all that suffers. And so getting back to that, if you can survive having kids and staying together, how do you get back to the point that y'all were before y'all had
But
these
what was
kids?
the original question? I want to make sure that I answer that. What was the original
What are some of the things that you can do to keep the spark alive as young parents?
But as young parents, I would say this, and this is something that one of my mentors told me, and I believe, this is something that we tried to do. Always, despite kids, he told me this, is that always make time for you and your wife. Mm-hmm. Meaning that at least once a month, I think I've said this way in the mm-hmm. first season, be able to afford to take your woman out at least once a month. I ain't talking about no high-end restaurant. You can go to get a fucking sandwich. But be able to take her out without your kid, if you can get that. Mm-hmm. And we're only talking about 2 to 3 hours. Take her out at least once a month. That's not a lot. And then the other thing he said was take y'all a trip. Whether it be a weekend or week, go somewhere out of town without the kid.
Definitely if you can afford it.
If you can do it, yeah.
If you can afford it. I definitely agree to make time for date nights. I think that is something that you should try to do in its entirety. Always try to make time for date night. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's really nice. I ain't gonna lie, it's just really nice to pull away from all the responsibilities of everything and just really just honing in on just time for just you and that other person. To just say fuck everything else and have that time, that's pretty good. I think surprising each other, I think that's ways to keep the spark alive. And see, this is the thing. I think we live in and I hate to say this because I feel like we sound old when we say this, but we live in an era of social media. And so when I say things like surprise each other, surprises can be very simple. They don't have to be something extravagant that you need a newscaster to record while you're doing it. It could be something as simple as leaving notes in your husband's bag. Leaving him a note that says, hey, baby, you're special. Or, hey, baby, you're a good man. Have a good day at work. It could be something as simple as sending a text. Just midday, just saying, hey, babe, how's your day? Could be a simple thing. You coming home with her favorite food or favorite candy. Little things go a long way. So I definitely think surprising each other. One thing, I think when you have kids, everything that you talk about shouldn't just be about the kids. Yeah. I think that for years, a lot of our conversations had to do with the kids all the time. So I think now that we're in our empty nest stage, it is nice to have conversations and they're not necessarily centered or everything around what the kids are doing or what they're going through. Yep. Now, we do still have conversations. We're like, man, them kids off the chain, but
that's on them niggas.
Right. But it is nice that that's not the focal point of our conversation. I think doing new stuff together. I think just trying new things together is a good way to keep inspired.
So you should have activities. Like I said, don't keep doing the same shit you've been doing, like going to the movies, going bowling, which is cool. It's not wrong with none of those things. Mm-hmm. But do new stuff.
Yeah.
Do new stuff that you normally wouldn't do. Pick an activity that you normally wouldn't do. You may enjoy, you may not, but at least try it.
Try it.
Yeah, within your limits. To do
we went to the gun range once.
Gun range.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Recently we went to a place that was like an adult arcade place. That was pretty cool. I like that. So just trying new stuff, just doing new stuff, and it don't always have to cost money. Going on a hike, that's something that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously you can't do that shit now, but yeah, just try new things.
That's why we walk, and it's wintertime now, but in the summertime, spring, we walk every day.
Yeah,
try to go
we go
outside.
to the gym together now in the wintertime.
Go to the beach every day.
But yeah, now one thing that when I just kind of looked up,
things to bring us, and we keeping it real though, to keep the spark going, and we talking about in the bedroom. You can't. Oh, go ahead.
I know. I was about to say that one of the things that they said is making sure that you keep your.
I know what to do.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Keep your intimacy going.
But what does that mean though? What I mean for me, what that means that you don't keep trying the same shit. Try something different. I'm telling people, couples out there, bring you some fucking toys. Y'all need to use toys, guys. You need to use toys. Not on you, on the lady.
Wow,
but you need to use toys.
I tell you this, it's not just about the sex. I'm just pausing for a second. No, it's not just about the sex.
Physical thing. It's about the psychological connection. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So I mean, like, do something different. Like, offer a massage. Like, offer a little 5-minute massage. Like, just. I mean, whatever you can. Little things go a long way. That's all I can say. Take showers together. Especially when I'm going to tell you something. When you have kids, I'm just going to say this. When you have kids, sometimes bathroom time is the best time for couple intimacy, is when you are in the bathroom together and you able to hop in the shower real quick. Now, you may not be able to do anything in the shower because you may have kids outside, but at least you can get in and take a shower together and be intimate in that moment.
It depends on how old the kids is, because you got little kid, bad kids.
They gonna knock on the door.
They ain't knocking on the door. You can't leave them motherfuckers unattended.
That's true too.
They don't give a fuck about you.
That's true too.
In that 15-20 minutes, them motherfuckers set your house on fire.
That's true too.
Literally.
That is true too.
Or fuck they self.
That is true too. At night, trying to get it in at night. You got little bad kids who think they supposed to lay in the bed with you all night. Them little habits, don't start that. Don't start that when kids little.
Yeah, definitely keep your kids out your bed.
Yes. That is something that we learned quickly as young parents was
the kids, keep them out your bed.
Do not start having your kids be in your bed all the time, because you will not get them out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Man, you will not be able to get them out. Yeah, that's bad. I think other ways that you can try to help keep the spark alive, show appreciation. I think just small gestures.
What does that mean, though?
Well, I'm talking about when you're a young parent, showing appreciation, that could mean picking up diapers. That could mean picking up the groceries for that day on the way home. That could be you notice that it's only one roll of tissue left, and you stopped and got the tissue this time because you know she was going to.
You only got the tissue because you need to wipe your ass.
It don't matter, but it's still helping out. I think helping out is I always say helping out is a form of showing appreciation. Mm-hmm. I think when you have kids in the mix, y'all gotta make it go however you make it go. You know that from when we had little kids. You know, when at one point when one parent ain't got time to do this, the other parent doing it, and vice versa. When they flip around, you may not have time to go to all the games. I may not have time to do all this, but that's how you make it work.
No doubt.
I'm just saying. Another way you can keep your spark alive, reconnect. Just try to reconnect through touch. And when I say touch, I mean simple things like even just touching a hand. Do you feel that? You feel that vibe?
Everybody not with that. Yeah, that's cool.
So if you're not with that, then and your girl touch your hand, what you gonna do? Beat her up?
No. Some people may be with words. Well, that's what I'm saying. You get mad because everybody's love language ain't like yours.
That is true. Well, find out their love language and go according to
that. What if your man is a mechanic? You don't want that nigga hands on you like that.
Not until he wash them.
I seen niggas' hands. You don't want some of them niggas' hands touching you, G.
You know another way to keep the spark going? Giving each other space.
Yeah.
I think giving each other space. Yeah. I truly think giving each other space is something that's really, I think sometimes you reconnect better when you're able to step away and just reconnect with yourself. Then you're able to come back and recharge with that person. I do truly think, especially when you in the mix of having kids and stuff, because the way each parent handles the kids and stressful is different. So some parents may need that extra time to just really, you know. I think also celebrating, celebrating shit as a team. Like, there's one thing.
Now that's key, is celebrating.
Yeah, celebrating victories within your family, especially as parents and stuff. Like, you and your husband and you and your mate just went through something with the kid and y'all came out on top. Celebrate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, because it take two parents. It really do. And no shout out to no single women or single man, but it really takes two parents. And when two parents can figure it out and they can have success within that, you got to celebrate that shit within that unit. You definitely have to celebrate that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. How do you, so say for instance, you happen to be a couple that had kids and your love life, your romantic life took a hit, right? Now that the kids are getting older, now you're at a point now where you can kind of rekindle this fire and relight that spark. How can you do that? And I'm saying take it from the place of thinking about us, because I feel like we've had a chance to relight our spark and everything when the kids went away, just being able to be a little bit more, I don't know, open, different. So how do you relight your spark if you're a person who you allowed your kids to pull away from, you know, the romantic side of your relationship?
I would say take a trip.
Ooh.
Take a weekend getaway.
Now, what if you couldn't afford to take a trip? You're a couple, but y'all ain't got the money to take no trip. What's another way that you can?
Go to a hotel for a weekend. You don't have to go nowhere. Do a staycation somewhere close.
Yeah, and if you can't afford a hotel, I guess do it at your house. Send your kids away, and then set your house up like a hotel. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No doubt.
Especially if your kids are older, telling your kids to leave or asking your kids to leave to give you the house to yourself. And if the kids are younger, having a support system, be like, yo, I just need one night. We just need one night at our crib. Can you watch our kids overnight? And that's it. Because I'm telling you, when you rekindle it, when you relight it, it's so much more fun. It really is. It really is. I feel like now we get the chance to redate again and date all over again, and now we don't have to have the kids as something in the forefront. So
I know people that's just absolutely weird, and I just want to talk about this. Really to the guys. I'm talking about older guys. I'm talking about guys 40 and older.
Uh-oh.
I'm talking like the men now, because ladies be thinking I be going off on them all the time. But I think it's something seriously wrong, and maybe we can have a deeper conversation about this, that if you want to fucking hang around with your homies, your niggas, more than you do your girl, and you 40 years and older, something is fucking wrong with you, and something is going on there. I'm just putting that out there. There's no way in fuck that if I got 20 hours of leisure time in a week, and I'm spending 15 of those hanging with dudes, something is up with that. That is not normal activity. I like being around pussy. I like the way women smell. I like they touch. So why would I want to be around that? And then when you're around niggas...
Well, you said your woman. Because even if I'm hanging with my guys, who's to say I'm still around women and shit, I'm just not around my woman.
You still in the company of a man to be around these women. So you're not with
basically,
the man.
your whole point is you shouldn't be spending all your time hanging with your friends.
Not no dudes all the time. That is not normal at 45 years of age that you spending all your free time with the same sex. Just think about that. It's not wrong with having your guy activities. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that every time I see you with the homies at the club, and I know you supposed to have a girl. You always at the club.
No, what if you don't know the whole full story? What if their girls don't like kicking it?
Okay, I get that.
What if their girls don't like kicking it, don't like it? And so her thing is, she's like, hey, I prefer him to go out and hang out with his guys and all that and just come home to me when he done.
Okay, all right, I get that. But I'm talking about, there's a whole collective movement of niggas that do that. And you talking about that one or two. I see it. And I'm just saying, I see niggas taking trips with Nick. There's nothing wrong with guy trips. But you hanging out more with dudes than you are with your lady. That's an issue. So guys, you need to balance that out. We not 21 and 25 no more. I'm just saying you gotta evolve and change, G. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's just weird to me. And I see it a lot. I see it a lot. Like niggas, I have parties, niggas will come through with they niggas, they ain't bringing no women with them. Where the women at? You know, I didn't go party 2 or 3 women. Where the women at? Am I lying? I like hanging out with women. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess that is something you could talk about on another show. Hey, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless on that one.
Okay. Speechless now.
I
keep it rated R for real and not PG for playing games.
I'm speechless.
That's what the people want me to talk about.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say about that. Cause like I said, I don't know everybody's situation. So maybe some of these men ain't even got no women. But if you got a woman and you ain't hanging out with your woman, I do think something's wrong with that. I do think.
And if you don't got a woman, why you ain't trying to hang out with women?
Well, hey, again.
Hey, you're not trying to hang out with women because you're not into women.
I don't know, because that's a whole different thing you throwing out there.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
Hey, I don't know, because I tell you this, the dynamics of dating are different. I've been married for the last 20-some years, so I don't know what them dynamics are, but I can tell you they're
boss
different.
lady. Do we not, when we pop out and go out, all these fine, beautiful women doing their things, and what the niggas be standing up, huddle up like they get ready to run a play?
Now, I would tell you
that shit is weird.
I don't think you do see that a lot, but I feel like all these men when they come out, I feel like everybody be on guard. Like, can't nobody have fun. Can't nobody keep their mind on females. Because everybody be out here looking hard with their head on the swivel, waiting on something to happen. I think that's half of the reasons why the dynamics be the way they are when we go out. Because when you look, half the dudes be sitting around literally, I feel like, looking and waiting on something to happen, being on guard. I mean, I done been in places with dudes who go out and they don't enjoy themselves mostly the whole night because they're literally thinking or worried or looking or paying attention to something because they think something about to jump out. That's why you can't focus on girls, because you focus on the wrong shit.
So why go out?
Same question I asked, but a lot of people still go out. Going out is weird. I ain't gonna lie. Some people make going out weird. I see a lot of weird people when we go out. So, hey, that was different. But yeah, going back to the topic at hand, when you have kids, the moral of the story is when you have kids, don't let your romance fizzle just because you have kids. Like, your world should not center around the kids when you have kids. You still got to make time for one another, because if not, it will. Yeah.
What did I say last episode? If you want to do right by your kids, you have to do for self first.
Yeah.
I keep telling people that.
Yeah, and then you definitely want to set a good example for your kids of what love could possibly look like. This is the thing people don't realize. When people be like, all these little boys out here, they don't know how to talk to girls. Some of them ain't even seeing what that really looks like in their household.
Say it again, boss lady.
I'm just saying.
You have to emulate and model the behavior that you want your children. Say it again, ladies.
It's hard if you
have to. If you are running through niggas, you don't think your daughters and sons are seeing that?
Kids see it.
Guys, if you're mistreating the mother of your kids, you don't think they seeing that?
The kids
and then they normalize that dysfunction. And they think you talk to women that way. They think niggas are fuck niggas ain't shit. So all niggas are good for is getting money out of them. You ain't been in a stable relationship your whole time, the 18 years. And you know what's going to happen with your daughter? She ain't going to be in a stable relationship because you're teaching the same fucking bullshit.
So the thing is, I'm just saying is that a lot of times when we be saying this stuff is that these kids ain't seeing the examples that we're trying to hold them to a standard that we're not showing them. That's kind of hard to do. So just think about that.
Somebody got to stop the cycle.
Just think about that. So, well, D.O.C, I appreciate you on this particular topic. And I just say, like I said, if you got kids or if you ain't got kids, because some people may not have kids, but then they let stuff like their jobs take over, and then they don't even have a good relationship because of jobs. Whatever it is, Don't let anything take away from you having some type of romantic, intimate relationship with the person that you call yourself being in a relationship with. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Any lasting words before we get to this? Dessert?
No. Even, you talked about work. Even when I take work trips and my job required me to travel a lot, I would have you travel with me.
Yeah.
They paying for the hotels. They paying for this. Why not? I just got to pay for her flight. That's it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And we've been in a lot of places.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, the worlds have to collide. If that's the way to keep the fun going, we got to figure it out how we figure it out. Shit. Point blank, period.
No doubt.
All right. Dessert, fair or foul. This is fair or foul, cheap edition. So everything has to do with something cheap. So first thing, how about drinking cheap liquor? Is that fair or foul?
Foul. You are what you drink. I seen the thing on just like whiskey making and how it liquor. And you don't want to drink that cheap shit. That rock gut, when they say that shit is real. Mm-hmm. And that shit can fuck your stomach up. Drinking that cheap, really cheap liquor. That shit'll fuck you up, so no.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not
You can keep your wave and all that old shit. You can keep your palm or something.
I would say this. I'm gonna agree with you and say foul. And the reason why I say this is because I remember a couple of times where I've gotten like mixed drinks. And either I forgot to tell them like what I want or they didn't ask. They just made whatever little house liquor. And you done drunk that mixed drink. And afterwards you're like, I feel kind of weird. It's because you done drunk some cheap ass liquor that your body ain't used to, and your body's trying to process that cheap ass liquor.
Because it's right.
So I think that's foul.
Yeah, foul. No
I think that's foul. Yeah.
Keep that cheap.
How about this? Eating cheap food.
You are what you eat.
Fair or foul?
You are what you eat. You have to treat your body like a temple. You can't be putting all that garbage. Like that fast food crap, that McDevils, that Kentucky Fried Cancer, Burger Killer.
When you're younger and you don't have the financial means to do better, I see, you try to be as healthy as you can.
Rich people don't eat that shit.
That is true.
McDonald's is made for poor people.
When you get educated, you don't want cheap food. I tell you this. The other day,
that shit just bubbling.
I tell you this, last week or a week before last, whatever, we got a Polish from the Jewtown place. Now, I ain't gonna lie. A year ago, 2 years ago, you couldn't tell me that a Polish from that place was fire. I tell you this, like, I took 3 bites of it, and I was just like, ugh. And I asked him, I said, why don't it taste the same anymore? He like, because we don't really eat this no more. We don't eat this shit no more, honestly. Yeah. And you don't. And your body can tell the difference. So I'm going to say that's foul. How about this? Wearing cheap clothes and shoes.
Definitely,
fair or foul?
Definitely know the cheap shoes. That will fuck your feet up over time. You know what I mean? So know the cheap shoes. Know the cheap clothes. I mean, you try to get what you can get, but, no, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this, because I'm a woman. I don't know. It may be women that think this, but I'm going to say that's fair. And this is why I say this.
Fashion over shit, that sheen and shine.
This is why I say this is because even with designer stuff, some designer stuff, you're taking the onus. Now, granted, there are some designer names that you feel the fabric.
So what I mean by cheap clothes, I'm not saying that because it's not designer. No. I'm talking about cheap, like cotton.
No, I know. I'm just talking about cheap clothes, period. Even with the name brands associated with it. I'm saying that that's still fair. I'm saying I have seen people put together some bomb-ass outfits from places here and there that you wouldn't even believe that they got them from. And they didn't put it together and they look nice. I have been able to put together outfits that some of my most complimented outfits sometimes have been things I done pieced together from Fashion Nova or from this store. I remember I went out of town one time and I had to go run and grab a shirt real quick. And I ran the Rainbow and got me a little quick shirt. This shit, it was cute.
Well, you know what? You're talking about the visual aspect of it. I'm talking about more so the material. And the reason why I'm getting at it because doing Cigar Junkies, we got into the clothing and all that.
That's different.
And so one of the things when we were choosing which t-shirt brand and style to go with, we didn't go cheap.
Yeah,
because we don't want the customer. We want the customer to have a good experience. True. We want them to be able to wear it more than once or twice and get an experience out of it.
Well, I say case by case. I say it depends.
I don't do cheap shit.
I say it depends because again, you can. This is the thing. Everybody in the world ain't going to certain stores to go grab some. Every time they go buy some, niggas are still going somewhere and grabbing a cheap tea. I done seen niggas get a whole outfit at the gas station. So please, people still do cheap shit. They like cheap shit.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. but I'm just saying the quality. You're gonna constantly keep having to buy that shit.
That is true, but I still say it's fair.
How about buy them motherfucking gas station socks? And you pull them motherfuckers. I remember one time I went through like 4 or 5 pair of bitches. Them motherfuckers.
I ain't say I was buying gas station socks.
See what I'm saying? You can't
I
buy
ain't say that.
shit.
How about this? Last one. Hanging with cheap people. Fair or foul?
It depends on the activity. It depends on the activity.
Okay, how about going out to eat with a cheap person?
Because they gonna want to eat cheap food. No. I've been out of town with niggas that we went out of town and these niggas thought that we were gonna eat Burger King, Wendy's the whole fucking time we were there. No, nigga.
Hey,
I'm
kids
going to
be
Papa.
like that too.
I'm going to Papa though. Now that's different because they stomachs can tolerate that
kids
shit.
Be like that
but
too.
no, nigga. I'm going out of town for one. I never eat shit that I can get back at the crib. Never.
Now, there are some, every blue moon, a cheap person will pull some out their hat, meaning they'll know about like a good restaurant that's cheap, but it's still good. But that's like every blue moon. Most of the time, yeah, you can't really mix. You can't mess your taste with cheap people. I'm just being honest, you can't. Even traveling with cheap people, like, you got to be careful traveling with cheap people. I'm just being real. Like, they don't.
That's cool. I don't give a fuck. Because, you know me, I'll bust a move in a minute on your ass.
I mean,
I'll leave your ass where you at.
I like this. Jeez. Hanging with cheap people is fair, but depending on the activity, it can be foul. And I tell you this because sometimes
I'm not going out of town with no cheap.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get them complaining, and yeah, that can ruin a lot of stuff.
I remember that one time we went to the restaurant in San Diego. A motherfucker like, why we going here? All this and all that. And then you know goddamn well you ain't never ate a steak like that. You know you ain't had experience like that.
Yes.
I mean, goddamn.
That's why sometimes you got to be careful with traveling with big groups. Because when you have like a whole lot of different...
Once again.
You can
do that. I'm going to dip on your ass. I'm not doing that.
Well.
We too grown for that.
Well, again, hanging with cheap people is fair. But it could be foul if you're hanging with the wrong cheap people. So with that being said, it concludes our show for today. Hit like, hit subscribe, join us again. Anything else, D.O.C.?
No, man. Just enjoy life. Keep doing your thing despite the obstacles.
Yes.
Life is filled with speed bumps, but that don't mean you go over them. That don't mean you stay off course. You just get right back on course.
Yes, and having kids, for some people, that could be a speed bump. But don't get stuck behind that speed bump forever. You can still have a very good, enjoyable life with kids and raising your kids. So, yeah.
No doubt.
All right.
Let's do this. Peace. I love y'all.
Peace out.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
Like and subscribe.